kind of unique because it's Hershey and the famous chocolate of of Hershey, and which we smelt every morning when we went to the rink. It's a wonder I wasn't about 300 pounds playing in there, but it's kind of neat. It's pretty well the bowl, the way the rink looked, and you know, the rink, and that's in that way. But this rink looked huge when we got it. I thought it was the biggest ring that was ever, or now in hindsight looking at some other rinks, but you know, with the Calder Cup on the side, with the 12-0 record on it, makes it a really unique name on it. I don't see my number on it. It says goal, so I guess I played goal and didn't have a number. Actually, I don't even know my number in Hershey either. That's bad. Most guys recite everything, but I'm not a number guy, I guess. But it's just having the Calder Cup on there and the Hershey Bears. It's a proud franchise, and it's actually the franchise that has won the most Calder Cups. So it's something that I think we're 10 behind them in our franchise, but we've only been around a small part of the time.
We were a little older, you know, we were mid-20s at that point, whereas we had been, you know, 19 with the major junior championships. So you have a different appreciation. You've played that many more years, worked that much harder. It's now your job, whereas when you're playing major junior, you were just kind of wondering, gee, could I play, you know, professional maybe out of this? So there was, again, it was, I'm sure, maybe more, it's hard to say that it was more exciting, you know, because you have that excitement as, you know, when you're a teenager, and then you have this, you've done it now as a pro. So I guess it's a little bit different, maybe somewhat a greater sense of accomplishment because it's now your job and you've hit the pinnacle of success at that point. He has always been very grateful to have been able to play hockey professionally. That's like I said, it's a dream when you're a little boy, and to have your dream come true, how lucky are you to have that happen. So when he played his first professional game in the NHL, he had been called up to the Vancouver Canucks close to Christmas time, and when he played that game, I think there was a true sense of accomplishment at that point that he had played a game in the NHL. I don't know if anything would have mattered. I think he would have been content, in other words, that he had actually made it to the NHL and played a game.
6 years later, I actually was in the Vancouver organization for 4 years, and then got traded to the Philadelphia Flyer organization, and I was up and down with the Flyers and the Hershey Bears, which was their affiliation. And again, being on a great team, had a lot of fun. It was kind of a unique year. It was 50 years of the American Hockey League. We end up with 50 wins for the year, and then we go into the playoffs, and we don't lose a game in the playoffs. So we went 12-0. So it was one of those magical years.
Big saves by goalie Wendell Young.
We were married. That was about a year, 2 years into our marriage. I can't quite remember now. We had just moved, that was our first year living in the United States, so we had left Canada. Wendell had been traded to the Philadelphia Flyers from the Vancouver Canucks, and we had subsequently been sent down to the Hershey Bears, their farm team, and had a fantastic year, wonderful group of people. We had no children at that point, but we knew children were in our future, so it was kind of maybe thinking that's going to be the last big crazy blowout as a team, you know, without kids having to worry about that or whatever. So it was a great year. The team was very successful. I wasn't able to work. I was only, at that point, I didn't have a green card, so I was in on Wendell's working visa, so I couldn't work. So it was just a lot of hanging around with the other wives on the team with their kids, but I mean, we did that on a day-to-day basis. That's what we did. Back then, the teams didn't really fly. It was a lot of busing, very long road trips they would go on. So you just really spent a lot of time together with the girls, and it was a wonderful group of girls. And that's what we would do. We would help out with the kids. I didn't have children at that point, so I was always willing to go and watch somebody's kids if they just needed a break.
It was probably the cup that I felt most confident that we had the best chance of winning. That was a team that everyone just kind of came together, and it's kind of unique. And like I said, it was magical just winning on the last day for 50 wins in the 50th year, and then the whole playoffs was just a situation where nothing could go wrong for us, like nothing, like just everything went our way. end up winning and going on. And it was a funny playoff run actually, because we won our first series, won 4 games in 5 days. Had I think it was like 20 days off because the other series got pushed to Game 7 and there was a big break in their thing. We actually had an exhibition game, went through a whole day, did a game against ourselves and with the rink and fans coming in because we needed something. And then we won the next series in like 4 or 5 days, and then we had another big break and then went to the finals and won that in 5 days. And it was kind of funny because we were playing Fredericton, a team I had played for the last 4 years previous to that, so it was kind of unique going back. But we shared a charter going back to Fredericton from Hershey, so it was kind of funny. The Fredericton Express were on the front part of the plane and we were on the back.
We went through the finals, just blew everyone away. We didn't get to go to the championship game. It was in Fredericton, New Brunswick, and the team went up and all the girls got together and listened to the game. And we had swept the finals that year, and the team did fly back that night on a charter, which was very exciting for us, and we all showed up and we had brooms. And
I think in the first one you're kind of caught up in the euphoria and you're just, everything's fun and games and everything. I think the second one you kind of appreciate a little more, especially it's being in the pro level. Not a lot of people have a chance, and especially somebody like me that I didn't know I can play junior hockey, and I definitely didn't think I could play pro hockey. And to be on a championship team and the kind of magical run we took, it was special in that thing. And then of course I got my ego boosted with the accolades of being MVP, so that was just something on top of it too. So, but you appreciate it a little more, and the festivities were a little more, I guess, festive.
it was very exciting, very emotional. Yeah, real sense of accomplishment with that one.
With having that season and having that playoffs, it's actually what got me back into the NHL. And kind of a unique story with Gino Briacco. He was in Baltimore and he had a really bad team, and we played Baltimore probably like 12, 14 times that year, and we went down and beat them up all the time. And then Gene takes over the Pittsburgh Penguins, and Tony Esposito comes in as GM, and they needed a goalie, and so Gene suggested me, the kind of run I had in the playoffs. And Tony Esposito being a goalie says, Tony, this guy went 12-0 in the playoffs, and all of a sudden this, Tony didn't know who the hell I was. He goes, Wendell who? He had no idea who I was. And so, Gene trying to explain everything, and that's what, Tony Esposito made the trade for me into Pittsburgh, and that started my career back in Pittsburgh and my relationship with Gino Briacco.